Hello children, welcome back to the digital classes. I hope you are all doing well and you might be very much excited to learn some interesting and new concepts in this session. Before we start our session, let us quickly recap what you have learned in your previous session. Children, do you know what is a ratio? Well, you might have learned this in your previous class. A ratio is an ordered comparison of two quantities. So, we can compare any two quantities using ratio. Children, do you know how to represent two quantities A and B as a ratio in symbolic form? Very good. That is, if A and B are any two quantities, then their ratio is written as A colon B and we read it as A is to B. Now, if you notice, this colon symbol is, so that is colon is symbol of ratio. Now, this ratio A is to B, what are these A and B are called as? Yes, these A and B are called as terms of the ratio. Now, in this ratio A is to B, what is A called as? Yes, it is the first term or it is also called as antecedent. Now, what about B? Yes, it is the second term or it is called consequent. Now, how to represent A is to B? Yes, we can represent A is to B as A by B. So, antecedent divided by the consequent. Children, do you notice what is shown on your screen? Yes, there are apples and oranges. Now, children, can you tell me what is the ratio of these apples and oranges? That is right, 5:3, because there are 5 apples and 3 oranges. Now, children, what is the ratio of oranges to apples? That is right, it is 3:5. But children, this 3:5 is called the inverse ratio of 5:3. That is, the inverse ratio of A is to B is written as B is to A. For example, the inverse ratio of 8:11 is 11:8. Children, notice that here the antecedent is changed to consequent and the consequent is changed to antecedent. That is how we find the inverse ratio. Now, let us see the symbol shown on your screen. Can you identify this symbol, children? Yes, this is the percentage symbol. Children, can you tell me what do you mean by 78%? That is right, 78% is nothing but 78 by 100, or it can also be written as 0.78 in decimal form. Now, let us take a scenario. Meet Ram and Shyam. Both started a business. Now, Ram invested 4,000 rupees per month, whereas Shyam invested 3,000 rupees per month. Now, after 1 year, now how do they share their profits? Do you know how they share their profit, children? So, today in our session, we are going to learn about these concepts in compound ratio, profit and loss. At the end of this session, you will learn compound ratio, discounts, and also you will learn about profit and loss. Coming back to our previous problem about Ram and Shyam, we have seen that Ram has invested 4,000 rupees per month, but he has invested for only 10 months, whereas Shyam invested 3,000 rupees per month, but for 12 months he has invested. Now, we need to find how to share the profits. Now, notice that Ram invested more money, that is 4,000 rupees, but for less period, that is only 10 months, whereas Shyam has invested 3,000 rupees, but for more time period, that is 12 months. Now, let us find Ram's investment is to Shyam's investment. So, we are finding the ratio of their investments, which is equal to 4000 is to 3000. Children, we have already learnt 4000 is to 3000 can be written as, yes, 4000 by 3000. Now, on simplification, that is, we are going to cancel this 1000 goes 3 times and here 1000 goes 4 times. We get the final ratio as 4 is to 3. That is, Ram's investment is to Shyam's investment is 4 is to 3. Now, children, let us find out the ratio of their time periods. We have seen that Ram has invested for 10 months, whereas Shyam has invested for 12 months. Again, writing this as 10 by 12 and simplifying, we get the ratio as 5 is to 6. So, children, we are going to now see how much amount they have invested in a year. So, if you notice, Ram invested for 10 months and per month 4000. So, in the year he has invested 10 into 4000 rupees, which is 40,000. That means, he has invested 40,000 rupees. Now, whereas if you consider Shyam, he has invested for 12 months, but 3000 rupees. So, 12 into 3000, which is 36,000. Now, let us find the share of Ram and Shyam, that is 40,000 is to 36,000. Writing this as 40,000 by 36,000 and simplifying, we get it as 20 is to 18. We can further simplify this 20 is to 18, but let us retain this as 20 is to 18. I will tell you, children, why we have retained like this. Okay. So, we can say Ram's share is to Shyam's share is 20 is to 18. Now, let us quickly see what all the ratios we have considered. Ram's investment is to Shyam's investment is 4 is to 3, ratio of their time periods is 5 is to 6, and Ram's share to Shyam's share is 20 is to 18. Now, this 20 is to 18, I can write it as, see here, it is 4 into 5 is to 3 into 6, because 4 into 5 is 20 and 3 into 6 is 18. So, I can write this way. But why are we writing like this? Now, if you notice, so if you see 4 and 3, this is nothing but 4 is to 3. Now, if you look at this 5 and 6, this is nothing but 5 is to 6. So, this ratio, that is 20 is to 18, we call it as compound ratio of 4 is to 3 and 5 is to 6. Let us see how we got this. So, we have seen 20 is to 18 can be written as 4 into 5 is to 3 into 6. So, if you notice, this can be written as 4 is to 3 is as 5 is to 6. That means, we are multiplying 4 and 5 and 3 and 6, that is product of antecedents and product of consequence. If A is to B and C is to D are any two ratios, then their compound ratio is given by AC is to BD. So, AC is to BD can be written as AC by BD. This can be written as A by B into C by D. Children, till now we have learnt the concept of compound ratio. Now, let us learn another important concept of discount. Look at this store. Wow, I think there is some discount sale going in this store. People are rushing to buy their products so that they can buy more and at lesser rates. Children, have you seen this kind of garments in the shops? And what is this on those garments? Do you know what do we call them? Yes, it is called as mark price of the article. Generally, this is price tag which is shown or which is kept on these articles in any shop. We generally call it as the market price MP. The price of items are marked according to the prices list quoted by the factory, which is called the list price or catalog price or mark price. That means, mark price is also called as list price, or it is also known as the catalog price. Now, children, to calculate the discount, we need to subtract the selling price from the mark price. So, discount is mark price minus selling price, and it is very important to note that, children, discount is always calculated on mark price. Now, let us take an example to understand about the concept of discount. The mark price of a gift item is 200 rupees and sold it for 175 rupees. Find the discount percentage. So, children, if you consider this problem, the mark price is given and the selling price is also given. We need to calculate the discount percentage. Let us start. The given mark price is 200 rupees, whereas the selling price is 175 rupees. Children, now let us substitute these values in the formula. So, discount is 200 rupees minus 175 rupees. On subtracting, we get the discount as 25 rupees. So, children, what is the discount amount we got? 25 rupees. Do you think the problem is over? No. Here we are not just calculating the discount, we need to calculate the discount percentage. So, discount percentage is given by discount by mark price into 100. Now, let us substitute these values of discount and mark price. Discount percentage is equal to 25 by 100, 25 by 200 into 100. Now, we can cancel them, that is 100 and 200, 100 goes in 200 two times. So, what is left? 25 by 2. So, which is equal to 12.5. That means, the discount percentage of the gift item is 12.5 percentage. So, dear children, you have seen what is meant by discount, discount percentage, and also you have learnt how to calculate the discount and discount percentage. Now, we are going to learn another interesting concept of profit and loss. Let us start. Look at this potter, he is carrying a lot of articles. Now, to make it, he invested 50 rupees and he sold it for 75 rupees. Now, children, do you know what is this 50 rupees is called as? Yes, it is called the cost price. That is, whatever the charges, whatever the amount has incurred in making that item is called its cost price, and we represent it as CP. And this item is selling it for 75 rupees. So, this 75 rupees is called as its selling price, that is SP. So, the cost price is defined as the amount paid to buy an article or the price at which an article is made, whereas the selling price is defined as the amount at which an article is sold. So, we have already seen he has invested 50 rupees and sold it for 75 rupees. So, here what is the cost price, children? Yes, 50 rupees. And what is the selling price? 75 rupees. Now, let us compare this cost price and selling price. What do you notice, children? That is right. Here we see selling price is greater than the cost price. So, in such cases, we get profit or gain. So, here the potter gets profit, and the formula to find profit is selling price minus the cost price. If the selling price is less than the cost price, then we get loss, and the loss is calculated by the formula loss is equal to cost price minus the selling price. And also we can calculate the profit percentage as profit by CP, that is cost price into 100, loss percentage as loss by CP into 100. Children, here also notice that profit percentage and loss percentage is always calculated on the cost price only. And make a note, children, it is not necessary that always we get profit or loss on selling an item. Suppose the selling price and cost price both are equal, then in that case we neither get profit or loss. For example, you purchased a pen for 5 rupees and you sold it for 5 rupees. That means you neither get profit nor loss. I hope you understood the concept very well. Now, let us quickly apply the concept in solving a problem. Sushil bought a car for 1,50,000 rupees and he spent 25,000 rupees on its repair. Then he sold it for 2 lakh rupees. Find his gain or loss and also its percentage. Now, children, from the question, what did you understand? So, before you start solving such problems, read the question carefully, understand and write down what is given and what you need to find out. So, what is the total cost price of the car? So, he bought it for 1,50,000 rupees and he spent 25,000 for repairing. So, both the cost he has spent from his pocket. That means, we need to add these. So, 1,50,000 rupees plus 25,000 rupees gives us, yes, 1,75,000 rupees. So, this is the total cost price of the car, and now he sold this car for 2 lakh rupees. Now, what do you notice, children, here? Yes, here the selling price is greater than the cost price. Now, what do you get in such cases? So, gain is equal to selling price minus the cost price. Now, let us substitute the values. So, 2 lakh rupees minus 1,75,000 rupees. So, what do you get, children, now? Yes, it is 25,000 rupees. But we need to calculate the gain percentage, which is given by gain by CP into 100. Now, let us substitute the values of gain and CP, that is 25,000 divided by 1,75,000 into 100. On simplifying this, we get 14.28 percentage nearly, which means that Sushil gets a gain of 14.28 percentage on selling the car. So, children, till now we have learnt the concepts of compound ratio, discounts and profit and loss. Now, let us solve some problems to understand these concepts in much better way. Let us start with our first problem. If the compound ratio of 8:5 and 3:4 is x:80, then find the value of x. Let us start with the solution. Given the compound ratio of 8:5 and 3:4 is x:80. So, we have already seen, children, what is the compound ratio of 8:5 and 3:4? Yes, product of antecedents is to product of consequence. On multiplying this, we get 24:20. But what is given to us? Yes, it is given that the compound ratio of 8:5 and 3:4 is x:80. That means these two ratios are equal. 24:20 must be equal to x:80. So, these two are equal means they are in proportion. Now, since they are in proportion, we can say that the product of means is equal to the product of extremes. So, here what are means and extremes? Yes, here 24 and 80 are extremes and 20 and x are means. So, their products must be equal. Let us do this. So, 20 into x and 24 into 80 must be same. Therefore, x value is 24 into 80 divided by 20. Now, let us cancel them. So, this goes 20 goes 1 time and 4 times in 80. Therefore, what is left, children, now? 24 into 4, which is 96. Hence, the value of x is 96. Now, let us move on to our next problem, children. In a local election, there are a total of 40,000 voters in a town. There are two candidates, A and B. If 90% of the voters participated in the polling, out of which 65% vote for A, how many votes does B get? Here there are altogether 40,000 voters in the town. Out of this 40,000, how many have participated in the voting? Yes, there are only 90% have participated in the polling. That means the number of votes polled will be 90% of the 40,000. Now, let us calculate this. 90 by 100 into 40,000. 100 goes 1 time and in 40,000 it goes 400 times. Hence, we get 90 into 400, which is 36,000. So, there are how many votes polled? 36,000 votes are polled in the town. And also children, it is given that 65% of 36,000 are polled to A. That means 35% of these number of votes that is polled are polled to B. So, this is given by 35 by 100 into 36,000. This on cancellation we get 35 into 360, which is 12,600. Therefore, contestant B gets 12,600 votes. Let us move on to our next problem. After allowing a discount of 10% on a book, it is sold for 315 rupees. Find the mark price of the book. Let us start with the solution. So, given discount is 10%. And what is the selling price, children? Yes, it is 315 rupees. Let us assume the mark price of the book as X. So, what is the discount? 10% of this mark price, that is 10 by 100 into X, which is 10x by 100. Now, recall the formula to find discount, children. It is given by discount equal to mark price minus selling price. Now, let us substitute the values of this. So, discount is 10x by 100, that is equal to mark price is X, and the selling price is 315 rupees. Now, X minus 10x by 100 will be 315. So, on transformation we get this step. Okay. Now, let us take LCM on LHS. So, we get 100x minus 10x by 100 is 315. So, children, here on subtracting these two we get 90x by 100, that is equal to 315. So, what is the value of x, children? Yes, 315 into 100 divided by 90. On cancellation or on simplification, we get the value of x as 350. That means the mark price of the book is 350 rupees. Let us move on to our next problem. Rani sells 2 mobiles for 9,900 rupees. Each he gains 10% on one mobile and on the other he loses 10%. Find his gain or loss percent on the whole transaction. Let us start with the solution. So, given selling price of each mobile is 9,900 rupees. So, we have to calculate the cost price here. So, let us assume the cost price of each mobile as x rupees. Let us see the first case. Here the gain percentage is 10. So, gain is given by gain by Cp into 100. So, 10 by 100 into x, which is 10x by 100. Now, gain is equal to selling price minus cost price. Let us substitute the values. Gain as 10x by 100 equal to selling price is 9,900 rupees minus the cost price is x. Now, let us solve this equation. Sending minus x to LHS, we get plus x, means the Cp of the first mobile we got it as 9,000 rupees. Now, let us go to the next case, that is in case of second mobile we got a loss of 10%. So, loss is given by 100 into Cp, that is 10 by 100 into x, again we got 10x by 100. So, what is the formula to find loss, children? Yes, it is Cp minus Sp or cost price minus the selling price. On substituting this, we get 10x by 100 is equal to x minus 9,900 rupees. So, let us solve this equation. So, on taking LCM here, we get 100x minus 10x by 100 is 9,900, and subtracting these two we get 90x divided by 100 equal to 9,900. Now, what is the value of x, children? Yes, 9,900 into 100 by 90. This on simplification we get 11,000 rupees. Therefore, I can say the cost price or Cp of the second mobile is 11,000. Just summarize all these things, children. Yeah, the selling price of each mobile is 9,900 rupees. Cost price of first mobile is 9,000 we got, and cost price of second mobile we got it as 11,000. So, what is the total cost price, children? First find out the total selling price, that is 9,900 rupees plus 9,900 rupees, and adding these two you get 19,800 rupees. Now, let us calculate the total CP. So, first one is 9,000, whereas the second one is 11,000, and adding these two we got 20,000. Now, what do you notice from these two CP and SP, children? Yes, we notice that CP is greater than SP, or in other words I can say SP is less than CP. Now, in such cases what happens, children? Yes, Rani is going to get loss in this whole transaction. Now, let us find out the loss. The loss is given by CP minus SP, that is 20,000 minus 19,800. We get 200 rupees as the loss. Now, let us calculate the loss percentage. It is given by loss by total CP into 100 in this case. Substituting the values, 200 by 20,000 into 100. Now, this on simplification we get it as 1. That means Rani gets 1% loss in the whole transaction. Children, I hope you might have learned these concepts, and also you are now perfect with application of these concepts in solving the word problems. Now, before we conclude, let us quickly recap what we have learnt in this session. A ratio is an ordered comparison of two quantities. The inverse ratio of A is to B is B is to A. The ratio A is to B is written as A by B. If A is to B and C is to D are any two ratios, then their compound ratio is given by AC is to BD. Prices of the items are marked according to the price list quoted by the factory, which is called list price or catalog price or mark price. Discount is always calculated on mark price of the article. Profit is equal to selling price minus the cost price, whereas loss is equal to cost price minus selling price. Now, children, let us solve some problems. The mark price of a toy is 550 rupees and the shopkeeper allows a discount of 5% on it. Find the selling price of the toy. The second problem is, if the compound ratio of 6:7 and x:12 is 4:7, find the value of x. The third problem is, Lakshmi purchased a dress whose mark price is 2,500 rupees. Shop owner gave a discount of 20% and then 10%. Find a single discount equivalent to these two successive discounts. The next problem is, a company manufactures 2020 cars in the last year. This year, the company expects the cars to be 25% more. How many cars does the company expect this year? So, children, in this session, we have learnt compound ratio, discounts, and also profit and loss. And we learned some problems also which are useful in our daily life situations. With this, we will come to the end of our session. Goodbye and take care.